Good evening. This is the Elliott wave update for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 for Wednesday, June 21st, 2023. Another basically down day, but again, it was on the quiet side. It seems very quickly we have the first day of summer, and it seems like the markets have kind of dropped into that quote-unquote summer doldrums. In any case, let's start here with the S&P on the 1 hour chart. No real changes to make. We continue to walk our way through what I am again counting as a minute fourth wave, which continues to leave the upside in place for an additional leg up. And so, but let's kind of take a look at where this fourth wave may find its balance and then again its low point and a turn. So right now, I've moved the 3 from here. I did put it up here, which kind of gives us into this ABC coming down. And if we even do A and B very quickly, and I know it's pretty small on this chart, I'm going to open that up. We could do A, B, and then we get a 1, and then a 2, and then a 3. This would be, all the way down for wave 3. Then we're in wave C now, and then a 4, and then we're coming off in a 5. So, but this kind of tells me and looks like we still are desiring to put in an additional low. And that could be the case. So I'm going to continue to allow for it, even though we're now sitting right at that 200, hourly 200 moving average, and just below the fib support at 44.14, 44.15. So I'm going to continue to believe that we have support again at that 4,400 level. We've gone down there a couple of times, and we looked like we continued to head down, and we get stuck, we stop, we don't actually go through it. There should be additional support just below that, about 43.95-ish. But on a fib basis, we have 0.382 at 43.65, 43.66. That being the most common level for a fourth wave. So again, we just take a look at, here's the whole third wave. It's pretty big. It's a nice one too. That we're coming down and coming into there would just be pretty normal. The fourth wave of a lesser degree is right here. It all fits. So we can come down inside of it, which we are. Even here, we're inside. So, but it can drop, maybe come all the way down to here. So 43.80 down to 43.65. If we're going to see some additional follow through. So once we get going again on the upside, I'm just going to re-add where resistance on the upside should come in. I'm going to take out that 4. I'm going to put the first one, I'm going to put it over. I'm going to move that over, don't I? I will use today's low again, just as a marker. Not that anything's going to be cast in stone, because we don't have that level yet. But we can just put in some thoughts on if we've reached the low of 4 and we start to rally from here, where would we find resistance on the way up? This is just not working out. Gotta open it up even more so I can get the ding line. There's where I want to be. I'm going to put it there, and then I'm going to put this over there. Now I'll go back to my hourly chart. So what we have going on is we have the following levels. So as we start to come back up, again, we're looking for a minute fifth wave. All paths now really do point to 4,500. So from where we are, 4,500 seems to be pretty much going to be in the cards over the near term here to complete this move. So right now, and let me just clean this up because we're going to use the fibs that are associated with, I didn't mean to do it that way, I meant to do it this way. The fibs that are associated with the comparisons of making, it's a fifth wave compared to the first wave. And those are the fibs that we use. So we will put these into place very quickly. And we actually have one more. We have one here that I haven't been using, and I'm going to keep it just to keep consistency. And so what we got is our first one is the actually most common. is that wave 5 and wave 1 come in equal. So it's equality, where wave 5 is equal in length to wave 1. That level is the 100% level, and that's at 45.68. Our next most common is that wave 5 will be 0.618 times the length of wave 1, and that's at 45.05. And then the last that we have is that wave 5 will be 1.618 times the length of wave 1, and that's actually all the way up at 46.70. And that's based on if 44.02, I believe was that 44.04 was the low for wave 4. Be kind of clever, right? 4404 completes wave 4. So we'll see. But for right now, at least overnight, I'm going to continue to allow for additional downside. We have that level. We have levels down below at 43.68. So we also have a level we have 43.80, 43.82. That's a price point. So it's a price range support. And then 43.68. And so for additional follow through. And then we'll look for the market to begin again. Now, also, just kind of reopening this, our fourth wave, this is wave 1, and this is the C wave. So the C wave continuing, that pretty much just stayed the same because wave A and B are in place, looking for the completion point for wave C, and wave C would be equal to wave A, and that comes in at 45.56. So we have a nice cluster still, 56 to 68, right in there, and it works. The cluster actually is now a little bit lower because the market did move lower today and got closer to 4,400 than where we were marking it yesterday. So it brought this down. That 618 level did come down, as did, again, the 45.68, the 100% level. So, but the cluster's there, and it builds a little bit of strength right there. Here, we're going to take a look at another number where wave C would be 1.618. This would be the irregular, because our all-time high is 48.08 in the future, 48.08. So this would move it to new all-time high, and that's where that irregular B wave comes in. So again, not calling it, not saying that's what the market's going to do. These are just technical levels that would come into play. Even the 2.618 would be in the way of an irregular, because it would take the market to a new high in a B wave. Not uncommon. Irregular B waves would be expected to move the market beyond the level that should contain it. So, keeping that in mind, now I have one more that we can add in, and that's going to be minor wave 5. So we're just replacing our fibs for on the way up, and you can see it gets very, very cluttered in here. So let me go and clean those up very quickly so that we can get rid of a lot of the lines and the noise. Don't need any of these because they're already been surpassed. Yep, I want that one, get rid of that one, and I want this one. And we're going to put 2.618 in there and give it a color and say okay. So you can see here, got a little bit of a cluster. So we still have this right at 45.05 now. Actually, it's a little bit lower. Let me take it back down to the 1 hour. 45, 1.618, 4,500. So again, we're talking about 4,500. So where minor wave 5 would be 1.618 times the length of minor wave 1 at 4,500. Then we have, if indeed this is the low, we have minute wave 5 coming in just above 0.618. As we continue to go, we have cluster 1, cluster 2. Kind of, it has to go pretty high, but these would be an additional upside cluster, where minor wave 5 would be 2.618 times the length of minor wave 1 at 47.43. So still not breaking to new highs. So again, we got clusters and not as close together as they are here and here. So the probabilities continue to weigh on to these levels in here. Moving average is kind of going flat now. The 50 is kind of on the hourly chart, beginning to turn because it's been a little bit stronger downside pressure from the market today, as we see different sectors beginning to correct. Okay, so let's go over to the NASDAQ and take a peek over there. It is a kind of the same story where we have, again, these are retracements. And so still same count, 1, 2, 3, slight irregular, but I'm just going to call it basically just pretty normal. We're getting still a lot of downside. Now, to kind of clean it up, because people may wonder, how am I counting it? And let me just kind of pull this open so we can see it. If that completed wave 3, here we have A, B, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? 1 of C, 2 of C, 1 of 3 of C, 2 of C of 3, 3, 4, 5, wave 3 of C, 4, and now we're in 5 of C. 1, 2, 3, 4, one more new low. It's already resting right at the 50% level for wave 4 when compared to wave 3. But what we can really start to look at is that, well, what we have left is if it dips just below and it puts in a low and rallies, perfect. We've got a nice count. It all fits. We'd put the 4 there, but now we have to allow for 14,938 for the NASI. And wave 1 is all the way down here, so we're not in any threat. Yes, it's large. And it's in comparison to wave 2, it's very large. But a lot of strange things have been happening in all of the different counts. So we allow for it because we're still looking for that one last leg up. So let me go back and now start to fill in some of our blanks and what we have. I got to move this out 1 notch to my 4-hour. First thing we want to put in that C wave again. So I take them all off so I can rebuild them, so that each day I get to show somebody else who may not know. Actually, let me go back over here, put it back under candlesticks. That would make my life easy. We're going to go to there, to there, to there. And and yeah, let me do that again. I like to be pretty accurate, particularly on these larger fibs. And we're going to want to go there. Yeah, perfect. So what we have here is that we're intermediate wave C. Let me clean that up real quick so that we're not looking at extraneous things that we don't need right now. We'll leave the 1%, 618, a bit of that, and go here and put 2.618 so that we can put that all up. And we'll take a look and see where they come in. So, been exceeded, next one up, 618, we just took off because it's way below 100 and it's ineffective right now. 100% exceeded, cleanly, purely, almost 1,000 points ago. And so now what we got is 1.618, where intermediate wave C would be 1.618 times the length of intermediate wave A, 15,800. 15,800, that's where it sits. Now let's start to fill in other areas as to where this all could be. And one would be where minor wave 5. So here we got no. And then we're going to go over here to minor wave 4 and bring it back down to my hourly chart. And clean this guy up so that we take out all the little guys and that don't make any sense anymore. 0.618. And go here and go there. And so now we have minor wave 5. So again, these are retracements. We're going to take those off because we're looking at what the next rally will be like. And right now, 0.618 has been exceeded. Oh, let me just double check. I'm almost positive, but we want to see by how much. It was exceeded by quite a bit, 15,253. So we've come back down below it, actually. So I'll leave it up there. I don't think it's not going to stop it. It'll trade through it, but we'll see if it provides any resistance at the level. So next up we have is 100%, where minor wave 5 is 100% of minor wave 1 at 15,735. Right above that, we have the C wave, 1.618 at 15,800. So those numbers begin to really form a cluster. One last marker that I want to put on is, again, we're going to use this as if it's not going to break below it, even though I feel pretty strongly that it will. So we'll make adjustments as necessary. And what I would do, folks, is I just make my adjustment to wherever it ends up. But right now, using these numbers, and again, I'm going to go in here and clean it up. So that we see where we are. Okay, so now if indeed minute 4 is complete and we're going to turn around and rally right off that level, we have the following. Minute wave 4, minute wave 5 would be 100% no good. We have to come up here, and 15,439, well, we've actually been above it. We got as high as 15,475. So even that may come back into play, in which case it's going to produce a very small failure, but you never know. So we're looking at the 2.618 number for the minute 5, and that's off of these levels. And now we see our cluster, minute 5, minor 5, intermediate C, clustering together right here. So the probability now really kind of rolls itself around this area, 15,700, 735, and 800. Nice, it all kind of comes together, and we're going to be looking for a stronger fifth wave up. I'm sure something is going to come in and snatch it, and they're going to just go, we're off to the races yet again. However, and whatever causes it, well, we'll wait and see. But that's what we're going to do for right now. Now, and that's really about it. Again, moving averages are kind of just relaxing a little bit on an hourly chart because the market has been turning and correcting itself. So we'll be looking for that to kind of halt and turn and go. Remember, we have additional downside potential. I believe we said 14,965, 966, right in that area. And here's the fourth of 1 lesser degree. So we can get down into there. We're pretty close, actually. And then this is actually a fourth wave, too. Within the 3. So 4 of 1 lesser degree comes in right in here. So all in all, we're progressing nicely. And we're going to see what comes through. Tomorrow, we have our normal. We have the initial jobless claims, which you get every Thursday. And those will come in again tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. We also have existing home sales at 10 a.m. Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, will be testifying before the Senate panel tomorrow. Maybe much more friendly than maybe not. Because we're all going to talk about all kinds of things, I'm sure, and we'll see what he says. Also at 10 a.m., we have U.S. leading indicators, economic indicators. 10 a.m. also, Cleveland Fed President Meester speaks, and then Richmond President Barkin talks at 4:30 p.m. So 10 a.m. Cleveland, 4:30 Richmond, and they'll all be speaking, and they may just actually have a little bit to say. Barkin comes after the market closes, but the first guy and Powell all come with the market at the same time. Powell and the Cleveland Fed Pres all start talking at 10 a.m. Eastern right when U.S. leading economic indicators come out. Could be interesting. All right, I'm going to end it right there. And our next update will be on Thursday, June the 22nd.